All right, what's going on, family? Peace, power, and profit. I'll make sure I got my sound working here correctly, and I'm going to just have a brief discussion with you guys. I'm pretty sure you don't need me to kind of speak on the fireworks of today. They were well endowed and testing. Let me fix my audio here, guys. That's what happens when you switch from different different applications. It has your default settings all screwed up here. So I'm trying to get back over to my settings that I normally use for StreamYard as opposed to Zoom. So bear with me for 2 seconds here, and we'll get this thing popping, and I'll get on out you guys' hair, so to speak, right? As they say. All right, peace, power, and profit, everybody. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the support you guys show the channel as it is. This channel and also the other channel, of course, this is the premier channel. The other one is the backup for the backup, right? And we have a couple more waiting in the wing if things ever was to get that complicated, right? But again, you know how this stuff goes when you speak in truth to power, or you're just trying to bring edification and information. There are strict values that these platforms love to troll and patrol around, which makes it that much more streamlined in terms of what you can and cannot do. All right, so this channel here was on ice again for 3 months, right? If you haven't noticed already, and we just got out of what they call YouTube jail, right? Fresh out of YouTube jail, right? Fresh out of YouTube jail, right? I'm on my Tony Stark's, mixed with Elon Musk, oomph right now, as you can see with my avatar picture, right? I'm ready to blast, Google and anybody else, Facebook. Of course, they've been getting beat up lately in the stock market, right? So they deserve it, right? Um, Again, just ready to kind of get after this stuff like we always do. So nothing new when it comes to, how we get down over here. You guys know the MO in terms of how we roll. Nothing new under the sun. Everything we do is disseminated based upon being able to explain, dissect, monitor, whatever. That's what we do on this channel, right? We are private eye detectives when it comes to all things financial literacy. We aspire to be better than we were the previous days when we wake up, to challenge a new day, be it the markets, be it entrepreneur endeavors as a whole, be it life in general. It doesn't matter to me if it's about edification and progress. I'm there, right? And it's also a part of just understanding, right? As they say, a closed mouth don't get fed, and if you don't move your feet, you don't eat. And so when we come on and we're able to share information, that's what we're doing in the spirit of trying to give somebody something that they can work with, right? That they can work with. So thank y'all for tuning in again. I know it's late. I'm not going to be on long, like I said before. I appreciate you guys coming through, showing love as always to the channel. Peace, power, and profit. The family legendary eight's in the house already. We have our awesome sister Eva Camille in the house already, right? Getting it in as always, right? Everything Forex popping, right? She gets it in, right? We have our family Roz in the house today, right? Peace, power, and profit to you as well. We're going to break down a little bit of that GameStop drama, right? It is drama, right? We have the best daytime drama series show ever. Just watching GameStop stock alone, it is enough to make your day exciting. And for what it's worth, whether you're in the stock or not, just watching somebody else go through, the aspect of making money or however, it doesn't matter. It's exciting when they see retail traders, meaning you and I, get a chance to take it to the man, right? It reminds me of an old school movie back in days called I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, right? Their whole thesis was they was trying to take it to the man, right? To the big man. They call him Mr. Biggs, right? And so in this case, we know Mr. Biggs as who? The hedge funds, Melvin Capital, right? Cigna, Citadel, all those, those conspirators, right? Robinhood, Vlad, right? The CEO of Robinhood, right? Even the SEC, and we also have a new blocker to the party, turns out, and Janet Yellen, right? She said some things that were pretty kind of, not so looking out for the little man, right? She was trying to protect the interest values of some of the people who've also greased her pockets before she became Secretary of Treasury. Whether you guys know that or not, but she's gotten money from some of these hedge funds back in the days doing speaking engagements. So of course she's going to feel more complicit to speaking essence to that of the what the firms and the so-called quote unquote rule book and doing it the right way and looking out so-called for our best interests if we're not, competent enough to look out for our own best interests, right? See how that works? That's how they play you, right? They play you like you're, again, as the saying goes, they look at retail traders as dumb money, right? Dumb money, right? Couldn't make this stuff up, right? But they try to, but we always dispel it because we're too sharp for them, right? They're like literally days behind and we already in the future. And that's what they can't understand about a lot of retail traders is why they're able to now figure out how to work the system against itself. Hence, that's exactly what happened again today, which we're going to break down that with GameStop a little bit here. We had another squeeze today, a massive squeeze today. All right. And I say massive because, basically what we were sitting and channeling at in terms of GameStop, when you look at the stock, this overall, literally over the past, since the chain of events happened, we'll just say that, right? It was stuck in a massive funnel. And if anybody that knows anything about technical analysis, instantly, anytime you have a long period of consolidation, accumulation, you're not necessarily breaking down any kind of key levels of support, that could be disastrous, all right, for anybody in front of that, right? That could be very disastrous for anybody in front of that who's shorted it to a certain degree, sat in it, and think that they're safe and solid. Think that they're safe and solid, and that, again, at this point, the government's on top of this. They got the government watchdogs. We got the Senate hearings. We got, all this, hoopla surrounding the stock. So, these guys are pretty much done, right? That's typically, I can almost imagine what a lot of these hedge funds, banks, and people even on CNBC and others who were just looking at a lot of these Robinhood traders and Webull traders and TD Mac, wherever you trade your platform, you trade either or, you, the retail trader, was being looked at and laughed at as if you don't, this is outside your pay grade kind of reality kind of stuff, right? That kind of mentality, right? Well, again, guess who gets the last laugh, right? Guess who got the last laugh, right? And we understand the markets are speculative. This could be the only move, and it could die tomorrow. We don't know, right? We don't have a crystal ball, right? Well, some of you guys do, right? We can't look into the future, but one thing we can assess is that when we look at charts and when we look at understanding technical analysis and how to perceive volume and obviously influx of new volume, right? What that entails for us, a trader who's been waiting in the stock that's been somewhat left for dead, oversold, is what? Now a newfound opportunity for this thing to potentially what? Wake up and grow legs, right? Now, to the extent that it squeezed the way that it did today, it's to be determined, but it happens. Once it happens, it happens. So the last thing that we witnessed when GameStop broke out, right? This is obviously pre all the drama, right? It was a good old fashioned what they call a gamma squeeze, right? We've broken down what a gamma squeeze is several times. So if you guys are new to that, I would definitely divert your attention to go with Investopedia and pull up gamma squeeze, right? Or just put in your Google search engine gamma squeeze and look that up and see what that means, right? That's basically what happened with the first squeeze that happened with GameStop and COS and AMC and BlackBerry and Nokia and many others, right? But typically it was surrounded around GameStop and more so even AMC, right? Those were the two favorable ones. Now COS, you can say COS benefited because COS was the first one to really have what they call, the rocket boosters and thrusters hit its stock first, right? It took off, right? And then GameStop began to kind of slowly catch up and follow, right? Well, COS obviously had a super low float, right? So it was already in play with any value or short interest that the stock may have had at that time. It just offered up a great opportunity to what, right? Get busy, right? And so that's basically what happened, right? And so now we're explaining it from a whole new different technical perspective because guess what? As traders and investors, what do? We equip, right? We adjust, right? We know how to audible, right? Again, I've spoken about this several times. Some of you guys know me. I spoke about, one of the greatest audible quarterbacks of all time, right? So if I was to ask you guys again, who was the best audible quarterback of all time, you guys would obviously emphatically probably, yell out a certain name and a name only. Well, that's what we have to become as traders, right? As investors, right? We are the retail, right? We are legion, as they say, right? But most part, that we need, we need to always understand is that, we're here for one another, but we also here to what? To get better. And so that's basically what we did. We used our ranks, right? We used the rank and file value, not necessarily anyone better or below anyone. It's just we used it as an osmosis perspective. You follow me? Right? Our money became the osmosis, right? Value or glue that had all of us excited about the stocks. You know, in this case, obviously GameStop, Cost, AMC, a few others, BlackBerry. We also had what Sundial, some of the marijuana plants plays. I call them marijuana plant play because these are true marijuana companies, not these you know somewhat marijuana companies, but these real companies that actually deal with products, I should say. Some of them. Again, they caught a nice little bid, right? And on the back of the Bitcoin energy that was happening too, it just made for a good marketplace, right? So again, this is stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we live for, guys. This is the stuff we wake up for. We say, you know what, today could be that day, right? Today could be the day that my lottery ticket gets punched, right? Right? And we say that with a little bit of fun behind that because obviously we're putting in a lot of work, strategic work, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, right? Understanding the value of how to read, right? Price action, obviously investor sentiment. So we do have a strategy laden mindset. However, we do understand the market. It can be very giving, right? It could be a day where your stock gets its ticket punch, right? That one-way trip to the moon, right? As they know it, the blue cheese sphere, right? And after that, it's like, okay, let's go, right? Let's go. Right. So I'm excited to talk about this again because when we see these things happen, most times people are like, well, yeah, but it's going to do the same thing it did before. It's probably going to crater. Of course, it's going to come with that. And that's fine. Right. Any stock can crater. Right. Tesla just cratered. Right. Tesla was down over near 30%, more than that, recently, since the market had pulled back because the bond markets were, starting to kind of move to the upside. So anything can happen. Your favorite stock is, does not get a pass. Right? I don't care how much the price of shares are, or who's invested in it, or Kathy Woods or whomever. That doesn't matter. Anybody can take an L in the market, right? How many times Warren Buffett took L's, right? Right? Moment of silence for all the times that Warren Buffett took L's. We'll be here for a long time with that moment of silence. He's taking a lot of L's, so don't get it twisted and get beside yourself in a way where you don't realize that the market in itself, as we know it. From a colloquial sense, right? They say the customer's always right. Well, the market is always right, even when it's backcrap crazy wrong, right? Again, as the saying goes, right? Markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain what? Solvent, right? That means you will run out of money faster trying to anti-trade the market than the market will obviously turn before it folds on you. All right. And so that's just to understand. That's just how the game is, right? We don't get the right to play, the plays or whatever, or the rules, I should say, but we get a chance to design plays to get after the market. I'll say it that way. Right. So that's exciting. So what's going on? We got some more family that popped in. We got Oba Kristen came through. Peace, power, profit, Oba. We have the awesome Miss Monica Lamb in the house, right? Miss All Things Warrior Minded and warrior body, warrior everything, right? Happy to have her in the house. I know she's got to get up early in the morning, right? She got actually, it's a 60-day fitness challenge thing she got going on now, and I'm excited just watching her progress. And so go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, we're trying to build everybody up who support us so we can support them. We support each other. Again, if you got a YouTube channel, shout it out. We'll go subscribe to it. We want to be a kind of, a growth engine behind you because we all hang out together. This is the village, as we like to say, right? So peace, power, and profit to anybody out there, putting in a little work. Also on the video side of the house too, right? We have the family L Car, the entrepreneur in the house, right? Need to say no more. The name says it all. L Car, the entrepreneur, right? That's what we endeavor to be every day we wake up. Entrepreneurs, right? Go-getters, right? Again, authors of our own destiny, right? So peace, power, and profit to you as well, family, right? We have Krista McKenzie in the house today. Peace, power, and profit to you as well, right? Getting it in, getting this knowledge, beefing up that what? That portfolio, right? The mental portfolio before you take it to the what? The trading portfolio. That's what this stuff is all about. So happy to have you in the house as always as well, right? We have the family Oba Contrarian Think in the house. Peace, power, and profit to you, Oba. Always happy to have the family come through because again, as I like to say, when we all come together and we form Voltron, man, nothing good come from that but just what? Success, right? Nothing but success. So I'm happy to have the family in the house, Oba Contrarian Think in the house as well. Have some of the old family coming through today as well. We got Mr. Maniac in the house today. Peace, power, and profit. It's been a minute. Happy to have you back in the house as well. Again, the channel kind of been on snooze, right? Snooze control. right? But we back, right? So again, we're gonna be popping off a little bit more over here. Again, we do have the backup channel, so y'all know how that stuff go. It's good to have a backup for the backup, because if the backup to the backup act crazy, then guess what? You need to have a backup for that, right? You can't trust these platforms, you know, by no, you know, extent means, right? We just saw that happen with what? You know, obviously with Robinhood, right? And many other brokers. So again, don't put your faith and trust in none of these apparatuses. These companies, these guys already got their bag. You know, hey, you know, we're there to use them the same way they're trying to use us. So get excited for that. All right. So peace, power, profit to you as well. We got family Blue Cousin in the house. Peace, power, profit to you as well. What's up, family? Happy to have you here. Everybody that might be tuning in, listening in on the background, you know, in the background that may can't chat or talk. It is, you know, late. Again, some of you guys probably ain't went back to work yet, but still, you know, you still got a level of decency where you try to get some sleep. So I feel you on that. So everybody that's also in attendance, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for all what you do in terms of edifying the community. And of course, in this case, the community of us retail traders, right? It's us against the system. And so today, again, looking at my chart here real quickly, guys, so I'm not going to be here really long. I just want to kind of do like everybody else, right? There's been like a million videos been popping out there on YouTube about this meteoric rise in, you know, GameStop after hours, right? And so at the time, you know, it was happening. Of course, I was thinking about going live, but I had other things to tend to at that time, so I didn't want to, lose that focus, a train of thought to kind of run over just to give a little readout what's going on with, you know, with GameStop. I'm pretty sure you guys was, you know, was seeing it like everybody else, so it was nothing new at that regard. And if you did not see it, of course, you might have heard about it through some kind of form of a social media form or the news. Of course, you know, it's back in the news. Of course, here it comes with the media attention, and that's typically when stocks obviously, you know, have their most tumultuous aspect of being able to be traded. Because if you think about it, right, again, the more attention that it gets, right, the more people who are anti the reality of seeing you, the small man, the little man, make money, they try to quell that, right? They try to go after you guys in a way where to stop your what, you know, your happiness, right? They try to kill your vibe, right? What the song with Kendrick Lamar, "Don't Kill My Vibe," right? Well, that's what they do. So CNBC probably gonna be all over this tomorrow trying to kill it. You know, maybe Fox Business News, whomever, all the little channels out there, you know, Bloomberg a little neutral, Yahoo Finance, they're neutral, right? But definitely CNBC, y'all know they pro bullish, they pro, pro suits, pro anything has to do with SEC, Janet Yellen, you know, that type. Again, making the corporate, you know, side of the house obviously become wealthier, right? And they try to tell you that you should invest exactly the way that they want you to invest based upon you just making these other people rich. Well, that's not how this thing works. Right? That's not how any of this stuff works, right? And if you don't believe me, look on your screen right now. What do you see? You see GameStop up here around about 170 some odd dollars here, right? After being stuck in a long consolidation channel here, which I spoke about, I actually posted about this several times, you know, in that regard. For a lot of people, you know, was asking things about it, like, hey, you know, what's this about? You know, the stock is just kind of just, you know, left for dead, so to speak. Is it over? Right? You know, when you say this, well, not necessarily, right? Because again, like anything, you know, we still live by the laws of what? You know, by the laws of what? You know, technical analysis in this case. But in the aspect of evolution, things obviously do come back around sometime again, like a lunar calendar, right? And that's basically what you got here. And you know, GameStop. Now, will it go all the way back up to 500? Who knows, right? But as you see here, this is clearly what? Volume decrease, which we're trained to learn how to read. You know, obviously momentum value, or that of what? You know, when stocks obviously, you know, taper out pretty much all the sellers, when you kind of wash out all the sellers, right? And you have what? A support value that's being held up here. Of course, it's not going to be accurate. I'm just going to throw it across there really quick here. All right. You have a support level that's, you know, that obviously showed itself as a good fail-safe, you know, mechanism. All right. A good backstop to the market in this case in terms of GameStop. And then you start having, you know, like anybody, accumulating, you know, pretty much when all the, you know, the sellers exited the trade, they start accumulating more shares in around that $40 level, right? So that $43 to $44 level, 42 to 44 was the magic level. I mean, look at this. I mean, just tapping around that 45, 46, you know, 44, 42 down here. Obviously, that hard dip that day on the 19th. That was the biggest. Of course, you know, the broader market was dumping too. You know, again, what do you say, right? Everybody got beat up a little bit, right? But nonetheless, of course, looking at this thing from this perspective, this, you know, going back in terms of January the 13th, well, again, you see the support there clear as day, right? Wall Street was not effective And what they really were trying to do is kill the stock, right? Of course, in this case, it would have been to break it below the what? The 200 moving average, which you see clearly here sitting at $29. As of today, that is, it's sitting at $29, right? And so stock didn't even come close to it, not one time, right? The closest it got to was on the what? On the 19th of February. That was it, right? On that day, of course, it hit a low of what? $38.50, right? You still up, what, 10 points away from the bar, from that perspective almost. So again, the stock obviously showed itself to be resilient. So it's nothing new. I'm not surprised, right? I know a lot of people are right now because a lot of people celebrating. A lot of people that celebrate right now, well, we know why they celebrate, right? Ain't not gonna throw cold water on their prom right now, right? But a lot of those are bag holders, right? Because they lived by the diamond hands theme, right? They lived by the, I'm a buy, I'm a hold. I believe in the story. Right? Whether you believe in the fundamentals of the company or not doesn't matter, because sometimes stocks obviously have more than just a fundamental story as well, right? People just like the ideal of a stock, and then like anything that we know when it comes to investing and trading, right? It's all about what a person willing to pay for something, right? If you're willing to shell out that $40 a share for the stock, right, and it may have a again a normal PE, at around a 7-8 value in terms of its natural value or market cap value, hey, so be it. Right? Because again, at the end of the day, if others also find value in such an opportunity, guess what? That's all you need, right? That's all you need at that point. And so a lot of people that did held, again, that was in on around, above, as you see at this gap point here, the 140, right? And higher, those guys even going back to this gap here, of course, at 225 on the daily, you see what's going on there, right? Of course, they celebrating tonight because they steps away for obviously reclaiming their position out of that red back into some level of black. Now, whether they sell or not, if it goes up there or not, that's to be determined. But at this point, this is more of what they call a movement. This is kind of like what Bitcoin is to the banks, is a digital movement. This is a movement within a movement in terms of retail traders versus the suits, right? The institutionals, right? Traders, the hedge funds, again, your Melvin Capitals, your Citadels, and people like that, right? This is, again, the opportunity where you're taking it to the man, right? You're still, legally, right? Legally, right? You get to dig into their pockets, right? You already dug into their pockets for around about $3 billion plus worth. The first time around, right? They was able to get a little bit of it back, but not a lot, right? And now, essentially, you finna dig into their pockets again, because if memory serves me right, as it is, and it has, and it does with you guys, because y'all learning this stuff and already know this stuff. For some of you guys, as well as I know, when stocks obviously break out, when they obviously have their breakout day after going through a long period of consolidation, accumulation, typically it really doesn't stop or end on the the next day, right? There's always some kind of form of continuation. So guess what? Short sellers are getting no sleep tonight. Anybody that's shorting GameStop right now that was short, that did not cover in the after hours, or maybe still sitting in at a higher short position, or maybe up in the hundreds, maybe in the 200, right? They had to pay those borrowing fees. But again, if they up a lot of money at this point, which a lot of them probably are, they probably, okay, no big deal. But I guarantee you tonight they are sweating a little bit. They are definitely not going to be able to sleep, peacefully tonight. They might be popping no-do, drinking coffee, watching reruns of their favorite show, whatever. But yeah, this can only be, a catalyst in terms of catalyst to a beginning of at least a 2 or 3 day run, right? The minimum is that we always say a 3 day run, the 3 day rule, right? Give it 3 days, right? So, based upon that, hey, the thing still has a little bit more room to it. And even if we just use the linear regression band here as a indication, in this case on the daily course, you see it, the top of this was sitting at around about 179, right? It's no secret the stock, I guess closed down around about 170, 160 something. So in around the top of that band, obviously after going up and hitting 200 and then, kind of falling back into it. Again, taking out these guys over here in this calendar here, obviously, right? That's the next level that you can look at once it cleared this benchmark, wick, the shadow hit this point at 159, or give me 156. Then it was just digging into this guy right here, all right? Until you lightly, start kind of threatening these guys up in here, right? At this weak point here around about 211, 210. But nonetheless, again, the stock is obviously in, it's in go mode, right? It is literally in go mode, right? Looking here at the hourly chart, make no mistake about it, it is game on, right? It is game on, right? Again, you got the 20th in the curl. You definitely have the 200 moving average going to curl up tomorrow. So obviously being at that, that point where, I don't know, maybe it's around about 50 something, 40, somewhere around there before the breakout. Granted, possibly, in terms of just looking at, the 20 moving average, and now the 200 now starting to curl up a little bit as well, sitting at around about 79. So those become kind of, I don't know, flashpoint support points if it ever came down to it, right? Those will be the first level to check beyond checking those candles first. You always look to the left and do your candle check downs first, draw your lines from them, and then you go to your most nearest moving average, right? Because at some point, the moving average is going to have to start trending along with the price action and kind of, turn that 200 moving average up. In this case, kind of curl it up a little bit there, right? So at that point, of course, you're going to know, that, now, the buyers in this case are starting to control the stock, the stock, right? It's not so much the idea that, they're not even worried about short sellers at that point, because short sellers are going to come, right? You're just trying to get 200 moving average to kind of curl itself on up here. As you can see there with this little line that's drew there, right? If you get this up here at the top of this, linear regression band here around about 100 to 200, that's going to be a great point of support that the bulls now get to kind of play off of, right? So anybody buying options in around that or whatever, those are going to be areas of interest that I think you definitely want to watch, right? Of course, that's just my opinion, right? But just using that from a pure technical analysis perspective, that's what you want to watch for, right? So anybody, again, that was in the stock that held, again, did the whole diamond hands thing, shout out to y'all. Of course, we all had our moments in the sun. People made a little money. A few people lost a little money. A few people held, so they ain't losing the money. Of course, it ain't a loss, so you sell. And we made our jokes, and we said, man, this is crazy, right? Because, again, we're trained to understand, that anytime we can profit value, especially well over 100+%, again, that's a positive, net positive plus. We're just saying, 20, 30%. But in this case, when it initially broke out again back in the past, then it was obvious that what we were witnessing, it was a parabolic move. So, of course, you didn't have to be getting to sell everything into the spike. Like anything, you partial out. You sell a little bit, see if it's going to make another move and it still holds. It goes high, you sell a little bit when you sell it in the strength. That's what we're trained to do. Again, that's what, I know I'm trained to do. And I like to kind of share that with other people because other people may have a different thesis. But you should always understand that you're supposed to sell into strength, not sell it all at one drop, because guess what? Stocks obviously sometimes continues on their journey, right? And turn to a higher perspective if you go along, right? Same way if it's dropping. So you don't liquidate your entire position unless you feel like you just need the cash, right? Or you having margin issues, whatever. Outside of that, you just take a little bit, let a little bit, leave some in there, let the rest ride. Of course, if you did that back then, of course, you benefited greatly. Just coming off at the point where it took off, around $40 back in the past. We're right back there again, of course, today. But, at that point, you see how I just rolled the biscuit wheels to Gravy Valley. It had this massive pullback, of course, and I say massive, not necessarily, but, it dropped from 376 all the way down to around about 233. Well, of course, anybody would say, man, that's crazy. That's just, it's pumping up. Of course, in this moment, it was just a momentum trade, but that's a healthy correction. And all it did came right back to a point of support where it kind of gapped from on this day right here, right? In terms of on the 27th of January. And then it gapped up and went on and made a new high, right? A higher high in this case, meteoric rise up here near $500 and change, right? Up here near that point, right? So again, just the stuff that I get excited about because these are good lessons that you can learn from, right? These are good lessons to learn from, once you get in the habit of learning how to read the price action, right? Going through all the memory, right? I was always like to tell people that charts have memory, right? The market is memory in itself, right? That's what it is. It's memory, right? It's a lot of ebb and flows, peak to troughs, right? Buyers and sellers, right? Again, a lot of momentum in stagnation, right? In some cases, depends on how long that stagnation happens or not. It just shows that, again, at any given point, if the stock ever gets, its ticket punched or get called off the bench, it could be detrimental to short sellers, right? That sat in it, right? They got comfortable and got fat like a tick, right? So that's what happened back then. It took off. We went through that a little bit now, not as long as the consolidation it took maybe over here, but somewhat close to it. But look here, look how long it went, sideways right here. Pretty good little time frame. It don't even seem like it's been that long. Then basically the entire month of February, right? Black History Month, right? Thing just kind of been, basically going sideways after it hit, like pretty much on the February the 4th. From that point on, I think that's when it really hit that low, and it just went, basically sideways. But again, it did not break support, and I kept looking at it every single day. Right, listen, and I nibbled in every now and then when they make the little moves like this, little popped up a little bit here, made a little pop up here, then near 100, pull back. Okay, I said, all right, that's good. All right, shorted into it a little bit, and then when they got into the point here, where it just went to the sideways, I said, I'm not going to touch it. Right, I'm not going to touch it because I'm waiting to see if it's going to break. Right, if it's going to break, if it does not break, yeah, maybe if it gets new life, we'll take a stab at it, because keep in mind, I do understand there is a thing called what, right? Retracements, right? There is a thing called, bailing out the bag holders, right? These guys that were still holding up here that was diamond handed, right? All up in there. Well, guess what? The whole time it was going through consolidation, accumulation, what were they doing? What were all the bag holders doing during that time, guys? Y'all know what they were doing. They were averaging down, right? They were averaging down, bringing their average position down a little bit lower because they were in at higher prices, right? So the old rule of thumb is that if you understand how to be a really good, effective dip buyer, right, you obviously see people averaging down, because again, at that point, if you're watching level 2, you understand that the buyers that were coming in were more so people, again, accumulating positions and or averaging down, whenever they could, to kind of help their position. That's what kept the stock from just cratering even more, right? Literally, they was keeping it afloat. They just, every time they try to make a hard dive or dig, they're like, no, buy, right? I'm gonna buy, 10 shares or whatever they was buying, 100, whatever. But it served them right in this case, in this point. Again, they're not out the woods yet, because again, we just barely cracked over what? This point right here, right? As you can see on my screen here, this gap here on the hourly chart, in this case, above the 200 moving average here, sitting right at back on the 2nd of February here, where we crossed over and hit a high around about 158, right? And it closed that, I guess you want to say close that gap or fill that gap a little bit here after hours. It's not, again, concrete until we get into tomorrow, and then we'll see, right, if it holds, right? Because everything after hours is still suspect. We need this to happen during intraday to a degree where it shows a lot of strength of buying, even though we had substantial volume after hours. But I need to see this thing doing intraday in order for me to feel confident. And I would suggest you guys do the same, right? Because again, I know right now you guys are excited. For some people, other people like, yeah, it's just same old, another pump and dump. I get it, but there's a lot of people out there have made a lot of money off this stock. There's a lot of people waiting to make a lot of money off this stock. And truth be told, they will have you believe that only hedge funds and banks lost money during the last meteoric rise. That's a lie. Well, we know there's other, fund managers and people that was trading too, like a day trader, right? Don't get it twisted. They made tons of money going long too, right? Now they didn't, they're not gonna pull a diamond hands like y'all, right? They ain't got that they ain't about that life, right? They sold, right? They sold in the strength, right? Up and around 300, 400, 5, up near 5, right? And probably on the way back down, especially when it crossed the 20 moving average here and began to break. They probably, I'm out. That's it. If y'all ain't gonna push it, I'm out. All right, and they probably closed out with a nice bag. Again, you talking about trading with millions of dollars, as opposed to our, tens of thousands or whatever, 100,000 or 100 or whatever. This is, again, how they make their money and get rich too, right? No matter how anti they are on terms of our thesis. When I say our thesis, meaning the retail trader, well, they're there to make money too. But nonetheless, again, you see right here again, you got a gap here. And so you up and around that point now where, if you take out these little guys here, you can probably, try to get some, again, some price action here. If it goes down tomorrow, again, this is all if, right? If was the fifth, right? Then, this could be a new area of support, per se. Who knows, right? In around that $200 level. If they can, cross it in, and close above it pretty demonstrably. But we'll see, right? We shall see. But all I know right now, y'all know as well as I know, it's gonna be some jokers that are not gonna go to sleep tonight. They finna be all up night binging, right? Again, short sellers and loans, right? Because joker like, man, I just got bailed out. Because a lot of people gave up on the stock in a way where they're like, man, this thing ain't gonna squeeze like that ever again. If not, it's gonna probably take, like the most stocks that do that, it takes them almost near a 52-week chart to do that ever again, right? Again, this is speaking strictly from experience, right? If not, at least biannually, right? 6 months, right? So they were like, man, we might be sitting this thing for a long time. Guess what? They only had to really sit through what? the month of February. Couldn't make this stuff up, right? And so they may, again, this is all made speculative, if, whatever, right? But again, if we can get above that 200 at lunch and build a little support there, build up a little accumulation there after it kind of, goes up and down up in there, that could be very scary for, again, for the bearish traders, right? It won't be nothing at that point to take out all this old liquidity over here that flushed out, a lot of traders at that point, or trapped a lot of traders at that point too, because again, they were holding, and that's thinking that stock was going to rebound, especially even inside this little, this little area here. Now they get a chance to get bailed out, right? And so they've been adding to the position. Obviously, a lot of them, they just waiting to kind of push it higher, right? The goal on this stock, is still $1,000. This is what everybody been saying for the longest. Like, we want to push GameStop to at least $1,000, right? This was said, way back during January, during December time, when they began to really start watching the stock, they were already thinking about, GameStop going to $1,000. So who am I to say that they still don't have that same thesis now, right? Very much so that they may be still thinking about that. I know I would, if I was, heavily invested in the stock, in this perspective, in a demonstrative way, be it you trying to set an agenda, right? This is your freedom moment, your freedom fighter moment, right? You got your, in this case, we throw it the blackfish, right? Not Joker throwing up their little, the little brokerage app in the hand, right? This is my, I'm fighting the system, right? Whatever the case, this is good for the market. Well, and you would say, well, why would you say that? That's irresponsible. Well, we know the stock is the pump and dumping. Why would you say no? You got to understand, markets don't care about, literally the same way we think about money. Money don't care about who you are, where you are, how you spend it, when you spend it, where you spend it. It only has a purpose to serve, right? It has a function. Markets, in a lot of ways, even though they have a lot of irrational, illogical aspects of it too, it doesn't matter, because if it's still a legal entity in terms of a stock, right? And it has any kind of abnormalities outside of nothing illegal, it doesn't matter if people find value in it for even some of the wrong reasons outside of what a person would think about from an investment perspective. Doesn't make it bad to still trade it, right? Or even look at it as an investment, but on the flip side, that they know the company obviously cannot match that what the stock price is at this point. There's no organic growth in GameStop store or business model that can, obviously, to mirror this of the stock price. Of course, that's not, so that's not even up for discussion. It's not nowhere even near close to it, right? Stores are still closed, right? Some of them might be open here and there, but I mean, it's definitely not enough foot traffic for them to make that kind of money, even online, right? But the one thing it does have in its favor is, again, right, it has people who are willing to provide the company, whether they choose or they don't, an opportunity to capitalize on all this liquidity that's coming into this stock to better build out their company to now become a little bit more competitive, up against its competitors. That's the whole point of a stock raise is for, right? When you dilute the shares, or you do a direct offering or a shelf offering, right? Either or, right? And you selling convertible notes, right? Tapping debt if things get real bad. In this case, again, think about it. I mean, it had a pre-valve of what was it like? Maybe like, I don't know, like 7-8 billion before this, 3 or 4 billion before the takeoff, and now it's like way up there around about what? I don't know. Let's see. What's the last time I looked at the valve for GameStop? Let's just check it real quick on GP. We'll just do a quick little fan viz. Peeking, even though it's not going to be 1,000% accurate, but we'll see. So yeah, sitting at around about 6.4, right? Right, give or take. Now this right here probably ain't updated because this move happened after hours. So tomorrow, off that 6.4, it's definitely going to be a lot higher, right? And this is not even 100%, again, accurate, but just again, an overview, right? It's about 6.4 billion. Well, obviously that's going to jump substantially tomorrow, right? We're talking about one of the potentially, up and probably around the teens if it really began to break out the stock, right? Right. So that's a lot of money now this company has, that it can tap into, right? It can tap into, right? And that's what actually Jim Cramer's is talking about, right? He just been beating that horse for longest. Man, if the CEO was smart, he'll do an equity raise. He'll do an equity raise. Of course, he want to say that, right? Yeah. Again, you know how this stuff go, right? They already, in their mind, think they know better than you, right? And if you give them that level of power, then you'll always trade and invest from a different, perspective, or a scared perspective. Well, if you just took it to the man, quote unquote, the theme, right, of the conversation tonight, then why would you be worried about what they're thinking at this point? You then took down Melvin Capital. Now he's still open for business, granted, but you took him down. A well-known, hedge fund, a well-connected one, not just one little penny in him. All right, a lot of people probably didn't know about Melvin Capital until today, but Melvin Capital pretty well known. I mean, he got people in his back pocket like Citadel. Citadel is one of the most prestigious order book flow comptrollers literally in the market. They handle a lot of people's books, right, in terms of moving their order flow. Right, they people been around for a long time. Y'all saw it during the congressional hearings, right? They had the CEO there, speaking. Again, you can see he was just acting like a complete robot the entire time. He's super, these people deal with a lot of money. Right? These guys are wealthy, right? They ain't missing no meals, right? Nowhere, they ain't missing no meals. Their grandkids ain't missing no meals. It's that kind of scenario, right? Grandkids, right? These guys loaded, right? In turn, they have access to all this capital. So again, this is you guys taking it to the man. So I'm excited to see it happen. I'm excited to see people look at this as a case study that it's going to be looked at well into the future. There's probably going to be a movie behind this or something like that. The same way they did Wolves of Wall Street. Think about this, guys. Y'all going to be a part of that, right? They did a Wolves of Wall Street for a reason, right? So this is that kind of new age in our somewhat lifetime, well, in our existence for understanding as traders, investors. Well, it makes sense to us. Right. So again, I mean, get excited, guys. This can get really, really interesting here. Number one, what it could do for the market, because we know the market out of itself been kind of backpedaling lately because the bond markets are out of whack. Which obviously that was going to come to a head at some point, right? You just can't keep printing, and think everybody else is going to kind of go along with you. In this case, China and some of these international players begin to dump our bonds. That's exactly why the bonds start going up. And like I've said many times, because we study this stuff in terms of Treasury Department and monetary system. This ain't nothing new to us. That's why I love our little group of people, because we deep dive, right? We don't just do a lot of shallow, data surface kind of level of information when it comes to investing trading. We're trying to better understand this system, right? The monetary system, right? What's really going on behind the closed doors, right? Who's pulling the levers, right? Like, the Wizard of Oz, so to speak. And so, understanding how to look at a treasury, the treasury.gov website, and kind of go through it, right? What's going on with firms' interest rates? What's going on as far as bonds and collateral-backed lending loans and mortgage-backed lending loans and et cetera, right? Understanding all those data points, right? The Federal, Reserve of St. Louis, right? Understanding all those, key metric points that we look for, CPI and PPI and everything else, like New York Empire State numbers and, retail data points. And we just had that number just come out recently. Housing. Those things are very functional in your life every day. So yeah, why not learn it? Right? Cost you nothing really, just a little, rub a couple of brain cells together and get some better knowledge. So for us, understanding when you see the bond market starting to kind of uptick, an uptake, especially in a low interest rate environment where Feds is telling you that they're not going to cut rates. Well, that's troublesome, right, to the broader market, right? And so keep your eyes on the 10-year. I'm always saying that keep your eye on that 10-year note, right? 10-year Treasury T-bill note, or just a 10-year yield in itself. Always keep your eye on that 10-year, right? Especially the 2 and the 10, really, because they like to invert a lot sometimes, right? Historically, but again, 30, watch the 32 and 30 and 20 as well. But keep your eye on some of those treasury notes or those treasury yields, because again, they should not necessarily be that appetizing for people to be dumping them if they feel like the market's in a very liquidity flush giving perspective, which the Feds are doing. They had a bond program, right, that they've been buying pretty much our junk bonds, muni bonds, all type of bonds over the past, literally since the pandemic happened, even a little bit before that, with the reverse repo operation that we're doing before it really became QE, right? Quantitative easing 4, right? Well, they were already behind the market. That's why the market seemed like it just never would fall, where it should have failed. They were backstopping it, right? In this case, they were buying the bonds, right? Again, y'all know as well as I know, if we ever go under in terms of the bond market, that's when the true, worry of Wall Street gonna come out, right? Don't get it twisted. Keep your eyes on the bond market, right? That's the true read out of your GDP value, your your backstop in terms of your economy is your bond market, right? When people no longer want to pay for their debt, right? If they start, again, going under on that, then it's a wrap, right? Because that's the last line of defense. Your last line of defense, monetary wise, is the bond market, right? So just keep that in mind. So again, get used to going to the treasury.gov website, learn it, guys. Dig through this or go to the Federal Reserve St. Louis, learn it. The New York Reserve, learn it, right? Learn this stuff, right? It's important, trust me. Right? Then you got some ammunition. So when you sit down and have a natural conversation with somebody about the monetary system or just how economics work as a whole, and you start hitting them with that data, they can be looking at you like, where you learned that from, right? Who taught you that? Right? You didn't go to college for that, right? But again, you don't have to sit into somebody's institution to learn how to be more intricate, intricate in your understanding how to read money, right? And how to function in or around money, right? That's what we're here for. Right? That's why I love our profession. That's why I cherish the fact that we are different, in that perspective, right? We don't sit there and act as if we cannot also be well read in this space as well. So that's why I challenge you guys every day when I can, and we go look into stuff like that. And Joker be like, man, we're supposed to be talking about stocks and stuff, man. Why I don't want to read about no monetary system, all that stuff, man? You'd be surprised, right? You will be surprised, right? This is a game about learning how to play chess, not checkers. Right. What's going on, family? Tamika in the building, right? But Tamika that came through. I see the Over Shavers in the house today. What's going on, family? Peace, power, profit to you, Over. Happy to have you guys here in the late night. Again, like I said, I'm not going to be on here alone, but I just want to come on, add a little flavor to the sauce, right? Good. Y'all seen it. Yeah. Again, the GameStop conversation all over the news all night. Everything on YouTube surrounding investing. Everybody dropping videos about it tonight. They talking about it. They're going to be talking about it well into tomorrow morning. Again, whether you're in the stock or you're not, I think it's important to realize, again, what you're looking at, so that way you don't get caught up in your feelings, right? Don't let your feelings precede your wallet, right? Or your mental thesis to be kind of make good decisions, because that's what's going to happen to a lot of traders, right? Somebody got FOMO tonight and bought at 170 something, right? Got FOMO, meaning they were not even in the trade. They just got FOMO and bought around about 170, 180, right? Up near 200, right? So hopefully they'll be, solid tomorrow. They'll be, taken care of. Right. But ultimately, again, that's what it's about. Right. Because, again, people want to be a part of what they perceive to be history. It's weird, too, because I was going through a few channels. I even saw a warrior trader, Ross Cameron. He was driving somewhere in the car, and someone sent him a message. And this joke almost, swerved on the streets because he got FOMO. This is, again, well-founded day trader. It shows you the frailty of the human emotion when it comes to opportunity. Excuse me, we all want to be a part of something great, right? So he did a live stream from his car, literally from his car. He was getting FOMO inside of his car because, people was telling him, while he was driving, man, it's going high, it's going high. So the whole time you hear it going high, and you can't trade it because you're not in front of your screens, or, you can't day trade from your cell phone. In his case, that was his scenario. He don't have a mobile trading app. All this stuff is, desktop. Well, hey, that's the game. You can't get them all, right? You can't get them all, right? And you guys need to obviously, take ownership of that mentality too. You cannot trade everything, and you cannot be in every stock, just because it's breaking out. Again, it's just not even healthy to feel like you got to chase everything anyway, right? That's why we actually try to train to teach people not to chase anyway, right? You got to have a plan, right? You got to have a what, you got to have a why, you got to have a where, and you got to have a when. I repeat. Right? Before you get into any investment vehicle, any investment instrument, any Forex, any crypto, any, whatever, you got to have a plan, at least a decent plan to understand a entry and an exit. If you don't even really understand the fundamental case, the use case, any of that stuff, at least have, in what we would perceive to be at least a plan of action, right? The same way you're supposed to save money for rainy days. Well, you should be trying to protect your capital too in the same breath, in terms of if you're going to get into a play just because it's popping, because it's a meme stock, or it's getting attention from the TV analysts and whatever, or somebody that came to you, hey man, I know a stock, the GameStop video, y'all probably saw it. That's a funny skit, right? But still, you want to have a plan. Right. So just make sure you understand that. So entry and the exit plan, if nothing else, that's going to save you a whole lot of money. And I can speak from experience in that perspective. Right. I had my days, right? I've been up and I've been down like any other trader. Right. And so that's why I love this, because once you really learn this game in a way where you see it for what it is, right? It makes you, it humbles you, it forces you to be humble, right? If not, you're gonna dig into your pocket, right? You'll keep digging in your pocket, right? So you can't get around it. I don't care who you are. So you got to get the study game up, right? You got to get your plan of execution game up. You got to get get your discipline game up, right? You got to pull back your emotions a little bit, put them on the table a little bit, and move and function like a warrior, like a sniper, right? Even if you got long-term investments in the game, you still want to invest sharply in the same way you would want to trade in the same likeness, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. So I just want to make sure I share that. All right. So again, that's it. So again, again, great day for a lot of people who were in the stock waiting to get their just due. Again, as you see down in my description box, as I always like to try to put a little information down there. Clearly, right, it was a very eventful day. Now, whether you was watching everything unfold or not, that's fine. But I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. It's one of the kind of days when you say to yourself, you could not make this stuff up. Well, clearly that's what it was. You had the website Reddit, it crashed today. It went down. Robinhood, right, had a quote unquote liquidity issue. It somewhat went down for a little bit. The Federal Reserve, yes, the Federal Reserve, it went down today, right? All these institutions or apps or whatever crashing today. I'm like, well, what's this all about, right? Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw that or not. Of course, I post about a lot of this stuff when I can, right? But the entire Federal Reserve payment system crashed today, right? Due to what they consider to be an operational error, or in this case, a glitch, or maybe not. Who knows, right? Right? But it happened. And you say, well, this is the Federal Reserve. These are people who move money. These are people who do the checks and balances with moving money all day. Anytime you send an ACH transfer, guess what that money has to do before it get cleared? It has to go through the Federal Reserve. All the money that's in the United States before it get cleared through wire transfer or ACH, whatever, right? Outside again, blockchain technology, hint, hint, wink, wink. It has to get cleared through the Federal Reserve first, to make sure, of course, it ain't no dirty money and this, that, and the third, digital or whatever. True story. It crashed today, freezing up to $3 trillion worth of what? Transactions. This is paychecks, tax refunds, bill payments. All that stuff, again, got to go through the Federal Reserve before it gets cleared. This is why it takes, in some cases, obviously it didn't got lots, faster now with, the evolution of fintech technology. They're making payment systems and, bill payment and bill collecting a lot more faster now. Well, it seems like bill collecting always been fast, right? Bill payment is, receiving money has always been the slow part, right? When they come to pay you, they take all day. It's snail mail. But when they come to collecting, boy, that's the take away from your account so fast, right? It's like, man, I just hit the button. That thing already cleared out my account, right? But again, today it went under. The Federal Reserve went under today, of all things. So again, that says a lot about what we're dealing with, about what we know in terms of even what happened with the whole Robinhood thing. All right, can you guys hear me? Oh man, this thing's starting to act crazy again. Hold up, I got all these screens open again. It's that time of night, PC been working hard all day getting it in. So if you guys can hear me, type 1 in the back chat. My browser actually just went out and came back up, so I don't even know if it's even up or not. So if you guys can see me and hear me, all right, just want to make sure everything's working fine. So let me refresh everything here on my side. Okay, y'all can hear me. All right, is the visual up? Can you guys still see my trading view chart? By any chance, can you guys still see my trading view chart? Let me see if I can actually, I was just getting ready to switch over to another chart anyway, so maybe that'll speed up that process a little bit here. All right, so let's go over here and let's check out this information here on the Feds here. Let me see if this thing pulls up. So y'all let me know if you can see it or not. You guys good? Okay, great. All right, we rocking. Let's get it. I know it went out for a little bit, so forgive me, guys. Hey, technology, right? All right. Just sitting there talking about stuff that freezing and crashed. Guess what happened? All right. Mine had a little small amount of freeze and crash. Right. Get excited. Right. So anyway, here we go, guys. So yeah, so hey, couldn't make this stuff up, right? So I kind of somewhat end on this little note here, right? So is it, man, why is it not showing? Is it still not showing? Huh. Now this is starting to be a little ridiculous. uh, so you guys see a blank screen on your side like me, I'm guessing. All right, so yeah, just talking about, this stuff getting ready to crash. And I don't know if it's YouTube or somebody, right? Somebody, well, we're gonna crash your computer then. We're gonna send a virus to your computer. Right? They sent the virus to my computer, and I can't even share my screen all of a sudden, man. I was just getting ready to go in a little bit. All right, no worries, no big deal. Yeah. Try something else and see if this works here, guys. So bear with me here. Hopefully this will work, or if not, we'll figure it out. All right, we'll figure it out. All right, so I'm back in the house. All right, let me see if I can share my screen here, see if this is going to work here. All right. All right, now let's see. This junk is glitchy. It is glitchy. I see even it's doing a little shake almost over here. All right, there we go. All right. So maybe rebooting it helped. Who knows? But either way, we gonna grind. All right, then we're gonna get off here. Right, I'm gonna get out you guys this evening a little bit. Thank y'all for tuning in again. Thank you for being patient. And in the spirit of things, again, technology, right? What can we say? Right, technology. So really quick here. So uh Federal Reserve, right? Federal Reserve crashes today, right? Yeah, the Federal Reserve, right? The backstop for the backstop, as they like to say. Right? It went down today, right? So this thing is acting really glitchy right now. I don't know. I may not even be able to get through it. We're gonna see. We are going to see. That's what happened. They try to add all the ad stuff. It's their fault, man. Get all the trash off. Anybody want to see all that mess, right? We trying to get them little things sold, boy. Joker trying to make some money in this pandemic. But anyway, it says the entire Federal Reserve payment system crashes due to what? Operational error, freezing $3 trillion in daily transactions, including payments, tax refunds, and bill payments. Right now, of course, even with brokers, if brokers have any kind of transaction being moved in or around their platforms throughout the day, or in this case, when it happened, you know, those transactions got froze too. I know we, in T+1 aspects now with brokers being able to settle money a lot faster. But again, if you were trying to make a wire transfer in or ACH transfer money in, you had to wait because the Federal Reserve again washes that money before it goes down range. Right. So a lot of people stuck to that. Again, as you see, paychecks, tax refunds that got held up, people paying their bills. It's just crazy. So it said all Federal Reserve settlement services suffered disruptions on Wednesday. The key banking systems were offline for more than 3 hours. The key banking systems, right? So there's a lot of them out there. Again, y'all know what I'm talking about. That move, move funds or whatever the case throughout a daily or scenario of business. All of them were in trouble today. So again, a lot of people were, it might have been a gift and a curse. And I'm saying that because when GameStop actually began to break out, again, Robinhood even went through a moment where it halted it. Uh, it was just, it seemed like it was a perfect storm where nobody could do anything to mess up the price action of Robinhood, or excuse me, or of the traders of trading GameStop at that moment, where they can try to pull that stunt they did last time. Maybe that was the case. I don't know. I'm speculating, right? But it just seemed to be like it was just everything happened, for a reason at the right time. And so because of that, the stock, began to just kind of lift off. And then after that, again, it just really began to just kind of, again, do like it typically does when it gets get really crazy, right? And the stock just lifted off and took off. So it may have been a good thing, right? A universal sin that it happened. So I'm of the mindset to say, guess what? Maybe it was the ancestors, right? Maybe it was the ancestors, right? Right. So the Fed says that the massive outage was caused by operational error, right? Whatever that is, right? They never give you the true validity of what is operational error. All right. So, oh man, this thing is not even showing again. Yeah. So they just really messing up my little feed tonight. They're gonna make it about that. I can't even see it. I don't know if you guys can see it now, but it's completely black. My opinion, I just thought it was just showing it. It was not. It was not. Right? Man, come on. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me tonight. Don't because I really ain't got time to be rebooting, restarting. But we got some work in. That's all that matters. We got a little work in. All right. If it don't work out real quick here, maybe I'll finish it out again tomorrow. Again, thank you for being patient. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, technology, right? The same thing we complain about turns around and bite us too, right? So it is what it is. So I don't know if it's my cam. Let me see. I don't know if that's even going to help. Maybe that'll help, or not, right? But I'm trying to see if I can share this screen. So let me reboot it. If it does not work, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going, again, chalk it up. We already got enough information in, some good, good conversation in, and we'll, hopefully tomorrow get a chance to go live. We'll finish out tomorrow. All right. Let's see here. They got all this trash on here. It's I know it's this website too. It's just busy, right? The Daily Mail is just a busy little piece of trash here. Like, seriously, get all this trash off here, man. Stop trying to sell everything. Right? Goodness gracious, man. All right. No worries. No worries. You guys see the screen now? Okay, great. Thank you, family Blue Cousin. Thank you, guys. Yeah. You say you got a 30-day ban on Facebook. You might not see me in the Facebook group or chat. Hey, no worries, no worries, family. Guess what? I try to do my darndest to try to come on live a little bit much as I can. So you guess what? You're always good over here, right? It's no different. And that's always say too. When you can, build your backup page as well with Facebook, man. You can't trust these. Man, look, that's why they're in trouble now. That's why they, again, this is them somewhat getting after a lot of people because what do? Right? It's the reason why they in trouble now. They got too much power, and people, have made Facebook, Twitter, and all social apps, again, filthy rich. Y'all make these people filthy rich. Obviously, because we found out later on, obviously it seemed to be obvious in the beginning anyway. But they were selling your data. They make money off your data, and then turn around and want to ban you for for minuscule things, right? Minuscule things they will ban you. I know I'm like the ban king of Facebook, right? Y'all know I hate Facebook with a passion, right? If it wasn't for you guys, right, being able to come on there and hang out with y'all, I would not be on that trash. Right? That's why I don't have the app downloaded. They ain't finna get on my little motherboard. I don't want they trash on none of my stuff. And every time I get a chance to short Facebook stock, y'all know I will go short the brakes off Facebook stock. And then I'll turn around and tag Mark Zuckerberg. Right? I've done that several times in the past. Some of y'all know me, right? I'm gangster with it. I don't care. Right? Because this is our opportunity to get back. Right? I have to go, short the stock. I may do a little dent. Ain't nothing else that they're gonna cry about. But guess what? I pull what I can from it when I short, right? And I'll tag Mark Zuckerberg name, and then the next day I try to post something out financial list or share it, and they'll block me from sharing it. Right? I can't even share it. I can't even share a post. Right? It's that bad. Right? It's that bad with me. Right? They won't even let me share a post. Right? They'll instant block my sharing app privileges, so to speak. Right? These people that man look. But y'all get it. Hey, Facebook, right? Face crook, right? Face crook, right? Basically what they are, face crook. That's why Congress digging in their pockets now. And the Netherlands and Australia and Europe digging in Facebook pockets right now, right? Going way back during the Cambridge Analytical scandal, right? They again, hey, y'all know what it is, right? Y'all know what it is. You know who you're dealing with. You know who you're rocking with, right? Again, these people, whatever. But anyway, you good to go here, brother. You ain't got to worry about it. If you still pop up and go live, you already know in the house, right? You're good to go, right? So no worries, family. No worries, family. All right. So again, just real quick, I'll finish out on this here. Again, I know it's late. I said I wasn't gonna be on that long anyway, so I don't want to keep you guys, again, impede on you guys' time and as it is. But again, this just the idea that it was such an eventful day. The market, it rebounded today. The S&P 500 rebounded again. The market was down. It was down like almost like 6 days. Obviously as of yesterday, and it fought back a little bit, right? We had Jerome Powell. Obviously, he was speaking before Congress, and just like classic Jerome Powell, well, what did he do? Right? He does what he always do, right? He says just enough. He learned enough at this point to know what to say and how to say it, right? So there ain't nothing new with him, right? So he was saying all the right words and trying not to upset the market, right? Because that's who listens to a lot of his what? His rhetoric. It's the market, right? The banks, the hedge funds, right? The fund managers, right? The market makers, right? Because his whole reality is trying to, again, do like we always know, backstop the markets. He will say that he's not. He's thinking he's doing the whole trickle down effect reality and thinking that the money gonna flow down here, but it never does in terms of income inequality, in terms of the Fed policy that they put out. It never does, right? It never does, right? Right. So y'all know as well as I know, you know, all it does is like anything. You understand, right, family blue cousin? All it does is just what? It just triggers those what? The algos. It always triggers the algos. They just waiting for a dovish tone, They waiting for him to say he's not thinking about, even thinking about raising rates, that kind of stuff, right? Uh, Inflationary target is still at 2%, right? We're not going to lower it or raise it, right? And we're going to continue to doing what? With our bond purchasing program. If the market hear those talking points, guess what it's going to do? You already know what it's going to do, right? It's going to catch out, right? And if you smart and have seen this like time and time again, you already know what's coming before it happens. The algos are sitting there waiting. They're seething for it to happen. Market makers are seething for it to happen. Banks are waiting. And soon that they get through the crux of it, which he did with the Senate hearing yesterday, a congressional hearing, the market did what? It started making that move. And markets be on the sideline like this right here. You be waiting, right? As soon as it get that green light, the market to take out. I'm talking about the bulls, right? When the bulls start running, hey, all you gotta do is hold on. You gotta hold on for dear life, right? Because you know what it's gonna be. You already know what it's gonna be, right? It's a given at this point. It really is, guys. It's a given at this point, right? You gotta learn how to, trade in or around, especially if you trade in the market, right? If you invest, of course, you don't panic when everybody else is panicking, right? That's not how the game works. I know a lot of you guys are still learning that, and that's fine. But again, this is a long-term growth perspective that you're trying to now, infuse into your life of learning how to be patient, even with your finances and your resources, your money. Right? A lot of us are new to this. A lot of us are, not so new to, but nonetheless, it's just a part of your growth, right? Your evolution as a person to realize, whatever you have now, isn't the complete story of where you will be in the future. Your growth is just going to be, again, it's going to be indicative of what, how patient you are with yourself, but how progressive you are at what? Trying to affect change in your life. Financially, in this case, because we have something that they can't keep you out of. They can't bar you from what? The market. They can't bar you from trading crypto. Well, they can try with that, but it ain't gonna help, right? They can't keep you from being able to be in a position where you can make income void of, again, being able to sign, fill out the application, right? Or a 1099, right? Right? Or W2 or 1040, whatever. You don't need those things, is my point, to be successful. And I wrote on that the other day too. Again, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox, but sometimes I got to get on my soapbox because I see a lot of things sometimes, and I'm like, you know what? This is just the typical, status quo, right? This is the system trying to beat the system, and for what it's worth, a lot of people have no clue, and this is how they get over, right? So again, the feds are there to again backstop corporate America. Let me go and say it for what it is. They're there to backstop corporate America. Corporate America then it supposed to that at that point supposed to turn around what? Trickle down that what? Some of those resources, right? Supposedly, right? Well, as well as I know, that money don't trickle down to you. How many people probably got raises during the pandemic? Maybe a handful here and there. Did the minimum wage go up during that time? How many companies paid out hazard pay? Right? A lot of them had to be forced to. They was like pulling teeth to get some of the companies even to pay hazard pay. We talking about essential workers that we were all watching during that time when we was in the thick of the pandemic. The Walmart workers, the people that had to still go into these stores, these people who had to unpack these trucks at night to get their food on the shelf that was getting, ravished out, or whatever. Right? These people, had to go into work based like they was in the middle of a war zone, which they were really with a virus. Right? And a lot of people still didn't get no extra pay. The greed of the Waltons, right? The Walmart, we're gonna list many of them, right? Even Amazon, they had unfair practices, unfair safety practices that were happening in and around a lot of their warehouses. Couldn't make this stuff up. True story. Matter of fact, our sister Letitia James, if you guys familiar with her, right? If you're familiar with Letitia James, press one in the back chat, right? If you're familiar with our sister Letitia James, press one in the back chat. She is very instrumental in terms of what I'm talking about to a degree. I don't want to get off topic, but it's good to see that somebody out there fighting for the quote unquote, the little people, right? Even though I know we bigger than the system, but again, we're relegated to the little people because, again, that's the whole structure of government. They try to convince you that they need to be the one to tell you how to eat, when not to eat, when to go, when not to go, how to do it, when not to do it. They try to control your entire life. Got you thinking that you acting on a plantation, acting like you some kind of child. But again, our sister Letitia James, the Attorney General of the state of New York, put out a class action lawsuit against Amazon and that warehouse they got up there, right? Very important. Right? Because again, we're talking about the thick of the pandemic when companies were still, making tons of money because exclusively they were the only ones able to kind of operate in that moment. Because think about it, y'all know a lot of other businesses got shut down, right? And others were able to stay open because they were deemed essential. So they were getting all the cash flow. But they weren't necessarily doing nothing to really backstop and, take care of their employees that were still braving this virus. But you could still make a lot of money. And then insult to injury, Jeff Bezos and Amazon skipped what was a $20 billion tax bill? What, something around there, $200 billion or $20 billion tax bill they skipped on? Meaning they got off scot-free. They didn't have to pay that under the tax code that was implemented under the Republican Party or Trump, whatever. The same old, same old. Again, this ain't no ethics in this, right? Ain't no ethics in it. It's not like they saved that money not having to pay taxes, then turned around and gave it to the employees and made their working environment that much more safer. They did not. Hence, that's why she took a lawsuit out against them. You already banked all this money, skipping the law of the tax code, and you still ain't, all the complaints that you're getting that people not feeling safe in your warehouses and y'all not beefing up, sanitation, this, that, the third, and you still skimping? Seriously? This is why I say, man, these corporate, hey, y'all already know what it is. That's why y'all hang out over here, and I hang out with y'all, right? Because y'all know how we are. We don't play the radio, right? You ain't finna pull wool over our eyes, and you ain't finna pee on me and tell me it rain, right? All right? It just ain't gonna happen, right? We too intelligent to realize and know that exactly how these companies operate. That's why we investors and traders, right? We in the lane. We're in the lane where we get all the information before everybody else get it. Like Main Street is asleep at the wheel. A lot of it ain't their fault. Some of it is their fault, but they're asleep at the wheel. They don't want to know anything about it. The investment world. They don't, anything when it comes to this. They're like, man, I ain't got time for that. I let it, investment banker handle that. Like, no, you want to know this because these are people who decide how you live your life and function in around their products and innovation. And yes, you also can buy their stock. Yeah, that part too. You get to read all their filings, right? SEC reports and anything they got coming out before even the general public get a chance to even see it. We see it a year in advance before a lot of people even touch it when it hits the store. Y'all seen that happen with what? CCIV, Lucid Motors, right? The vehicles, the truck, right? They may see a little TV advertisement every now and then, but you get to know everything about it before even the average person get a chance to even touch it physically. As the investor, that puts you ahead of the game. You are moving at the speed or the pace of innovation, literally neck to neck. Because they have to disclose that information to you as the shareholder. They have to disclose that information, at least to a degree where it's, that much of it that's, legal that they can. Some stuff they probably keep on the wraps because we understand there's what, IP and all that stuff like intellectual property, and they don't want somebody else to get all this stuff. We get it. But a lot of this stuff ain't hard to figure out. It's not hard, to put two and two together and realize what's going on. Right? Investigative journalists, right? That's what we are also by trade. We are investigative journalists, right? Financial investigative journalists. So how cool is that? Even from the startups, right? We get a chance to get on these crowdfunding, ground floor level startups and stuff like that now. Without a series license, right? Series 6, 11, 7, whatever. You don't need all that now. Again, the game is switching. It's going in your favor. So why not learn everything you can about it? Be the best you can at it. Share it with somebody else. And believe me when I say this, over time, you're going to be dangerous. You're going to be dangerous. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you like, man, right now I'm going through, my up and down, but when that thing bounce out, won't nobody be able to stop you, right? You're gonna have unlimited tap resource aspect to the market. You have a skill set that can follow you anywhere around the world. No one can take it from you. No one can buy you from it. We don't care if it's a hurricane, typhoon, atomic bomb, any of that stuff, right? We don't want that stuff, those things to happen, of course. But if nothing else, y'all know one thing is going to be open above all things is going to be that market. The market's going to be open. You got a freeze storm going on right now in Dallas, Texas. You think they're going to shut down the stock market? They can focus all their attention to helping everybody in Dallas right now? Okay, good luck with that. Yeah, good luck with that. Pandemic just hit. A pandemic hit. People are home literally starving. People still starving. Lost jobs, can't feed their family, whatever. Had no means of producing income. And guess what was still popping? Them stocks. Them stonks, right? They call them stonks, right? They still popping. People still making a bag. The wealthy got wealthier to the tune of what? What was like what? How much was it? It was like what? 40 trillion? I mean, not 40 trillion, but 600 some odd $billion, somewhere like that. Some crazy number like that. It was like near $600 billion in terms of the wealth gap separation, in terms of money that the corporations and business owners and that in that aspect they was able to haul off away from the market because they had a Fed that was pumping all your tax dollars into what? Their pockets. Again, that trickle down economics deployment aspect does not work, and they know it doesn't work. Yet they keep doing it because they feel like, again, Main Street is asleep at the wheel. They have no clue about this stuff. All they do is want to get you caught up and worry about a Republican and a Democrat so they can keep you lulled to sleep and distracted. In terms about, one don't want to give you nothing, the other want to give you something, but the other one don't understand this. That all that stuff is sleight of hand. They call it what? Prestidigitation, sleight of hands, right? Fooling you. No, don't get caught up in that. Focus on, again, where the money's really at, right? Who's moving the money? Focus on those things. Get out the clouds. Get out all this TV stuff. Stop being distracted and figure out how to, bypass the middleman, right? And focus on how to go get that bag. Again, that article tells you literally right there. This is just, again, man, at the time when it crashed, this was how much it was still waiting to probably move. $3 trillion. $3 trillion on a daily basis is around about $6 trillion moved around the world daily in global transactions. I say that a lot, right? I tell people a lot, man, how much of that are you getting? And most people are like, what do you mean what I'm getting? Yeah, I mean, I just clocked in the day. Is that what you mean? Like, no, I'm talking about freely. How much of that are you getting? I mean, I have no clue what you're talking about, bro. Well, then maybe you need to start hanging out with us so we can help you realize, how they're fishing off you, right? Y'all get it. Again, I'm not going to get in my soapbox. It's late. I said wasn't going to be on long. I'm not going to keep y'all any longer, but I just wanted to kind of touch on that because, again, today was a very eventful day. Just like my description box says, there's a lot of information, things that happen. Of course, y'all know Reddit crashed. Again, the website where all the Wall Street bets crew at. So they was over there scrambling, obviously, but they were just, setting up the shop to get ready to go, get after it, right? So it wasn't nothing, nothing new in that perspective. That was the whole reality, right? Right? They were just waiting to get after it, right? So, Wall Street bets was like, hey, let's get it. With or without Reddit, they didn't care, right? Matter of fact, let's scroll over there like, a hot second here, right? Before we get ready to log off here again. Thank y'all for being patient. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing if you're new. Thank you for liking the video if you did. Again, turn somebody on. Y'all know how we roll over here. We're PG-13 rated, commentary space over here, right? So we make it safe for kids as well, right? But we come from a place of knowledge, right? Meaning we like to prove the information right? We're researchers in that perspective. So, we don't just kind of fly off the top of our head and be saying all anything reckless over here. We take our time, be calculative with our words because we know it matters, right? And, hey, we're trying to look out for each other's best interest, right? But in this case, again, like I say, Wall Street bets over here, it's cracking, right? So, they these jokers ain't getting no sleep on here tonight. they amped up. They said, you know what, we proved it right that we, got something that the system can't take from us. And this brotherhood, this brother sisterhood, whatever, this unity, this band of brothers, quote unquote. And this short squeeze was just more fuel to their what? To their fire that they're trying to start. That Wall Street don't want this smoke. That's literally how they look at it. Y'all see look at, they got all kind of memes, skits. I mean, you could make this stuff up, right? These jokers are fired up this night because they got a W today. Again, they deserve it because they held. A lot of these guys held through it. Y'all know DF and Value, Roaring Kitty, affectionately known. Y'all know him now because of this congressional hearing, right? But y'all know he was up like what, $54 million, right? And lost what, every bit of around about what 40 million of it, somewhere around there. He gave every bit about 40 million of it back just by letting the stock go down. He didn't sell it top just to prove a point. Now I know most of y'all would not do that, right? Because y'all know we smarter than that, right? Not saying that he's not, but we're not positioned to kind of make those kind of stands like that because we don't have no point to prove, right? We're trying to do things to better our situation. Of course, in his case, he feel like he can do it, right? I don't know too many people that go up $54 million and give pretty much almost 70, 90, or 80 to 90% of it back, just try to prove a point to his homeboy. So you know what? See, I held the stock just for you guys. Like, what? Like, no, you didn't. Yeah, you better not be doing that. But again, whatever. Right? We'll leave that to the people who have that kind of energy. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying we're not trained to, trade like that. Right? All right. But it's interesting because again, they on fire tonight over here. On on Wall Street bets. Well, the little porter over here, right? They fired up here. You see, oh, here we go again. GameStop, here we go again. Right? These jokers fired up, bro. You ain't finna tell these jokers they ain't finna get this money, right? Right? You're not finna tell me they exactly right. Movie deals, books, all this stuff coming. Right? It's already pretty much, all but written in stone at this point. So Roaring Kitty, that's his name, right? He went up against again these guys by himself, literally. Even at the at the hearing, it was just him by himself. And then you look at Citadel, the American Capital. These guys got guys in the rooms with them, coaching them what to say. They're crooks. You can't even speak from a place just your professionalism, as if you don't know your profession and your job, and you need lawyers to help coach you, right? To keep even saying anything that may be used against you because you're doing some backdoor dealing. Because that's the only reason you would need a lawyer present. It ain't that serious, right? If you did everything by the law or by the regulation that was presented on the SEC of FINRA, right, and any other aspect of the law in that case, be it banking, whatever, then why are you worried? But y'all know as well as I know, that's how this country is ran. It's backwards, right? Ain't no justice here. Justice is determined by the dollar bill, right? Justice in this country is determined by the dollar bill, not about ethical values of right and wrong. Lady liberty, all that stuff, man, stop, right? It's about them dollars. What them dollars at, right? That's what getting people out of murder cases and rape cases and, begrudgingly wild type of crime, right? Joker be at home eating cereal the next day. And here it is, you can't even cross the road. You can't even do, in the middle of a blizzard, and you get a jaywalking ticket. In the middle of a cold storm with no power, and Joker still pull you up and give you a jaywalking ticket. Like, are you kidding me? Right? Y'all get it. But yeah, so it's on. So they over there fired up here on Wall Street Bets website, as you can see, right? You see they got the dude and brought him back. You got Shamat, you got Elon, you got ALC, the crew, right? This one here was one of the funny ones. I saw this one earlier. I got to show y'all this one there. This one here was funny. Let me see if I can add some audio to it. Right? Hopefully they don't flag my channel. They be on that foolishness, right? Right? I may not even have to get a chance to even play the audio, but let me see if I can get this here. But that thing was that was one of the funny ones there. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, but again, they fired up, guys. Y'all know what it's like. Joker then came back. You got a chance to get some get back. Oh, you fired up, right? It's like, oh yeah, we back now, right? We back, Mortimer, right? Let me see if I can go over and play that one there real quick. Hopefully, ain't no crazy music. They fired up over there, right? Them jokers that came back from the dead, literally. So, of course, like I say, it's fun to watch. It's fun to see it. It's entertaining. Of course, this is people money on the line, though. This is real money, right? So just keep in mind, guys, don't get caught up in all the hoop and hop. Y'all know me. I'm not going to even allow you to do it if I have anything to do with it, right? Because we don't even train that way, right? We ain't trying to prove, right? We can play the diamond hands game to a degree, but ultimately we still have our targets, right? We have our buy signals, our sell signals, and we're not going to be, thrown off that because, you know, we didn't work, to get this far just to kind of, be out there trying to, make somebody else feel good because, they trying to take it to the man. We want to get our bags, but yeah, they fired up, like I said. So we'll see how they, get through these next couple days here, going into the end of the week. This is good that it happened on Wednesday. Well, why did I say that? Because now you have 2 days of price action going into the weekend, closing out, already very tumultuous week that we had with the S&P 500, the bond market, right? Metals, Bitcoin, come on. Senate congressional hearings out the roof. They still going on right now. Something happened with the riot that happened on Washington, the feds, even the GameStop stuff. Man, this stuff is just everything popping right now. We still waiting on a stimulus bill to come through from off Joe Biden, off the Senate, floor, right? They talking about March 15th, 14th for that, right? So we knew that was gonna happen, right? We timeline this up. See, man, they don't cut that check, man. It might be end of March, maybe April, right? I've seen this coming, right? Seen it coming, right? So this is more of the hustle, but I ain't gonna get into that because I'm gonna be like, man, but I like the Democrats, but I like the Republicans. Y'all know, man, I'm independent, so I get to go on everybody's political party. So if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. I'm not doing it intensely. I'm going after the people who are there that are making your life, and my life and many other people's lives, again, just worse than it necessarily needs to be, right? Because of the policies and the play games that they're playing. But anyway, moving on, right? See, Roy and Kitty, y'all see him right there. He went up against, Melvin Capital and Citadel by himself, and he started, he got this energy again. He liked the stock. That's all he said. I like the stock. You can't dispute that man for saying he liked the stock. Cause what is you gonna say that he was just, he's making it up? He an idiot. No, you can't tell that man what he feel like he find value. In his case, that was the only thing he had to say at the whole congressional hearing. But they could not come against him. They can't try to corner him up and say, this was all deliberate and they were pumping the stock and no, hey, all that, hey, I like the stock. All right, so just like they say, when the police run up on you, you got to have it, alibi or whatever your word. The game got to be tight, right? Hey, I like the stock. That's part of my amendment right values as a fair value investor, right? You can't impede on my right to tell me what I can and cannot find value in. As long as it's legal and publicly traded, you can't tell me what I can and cannot find value in. And so that's all you need to say is I like the stock. And hey, that's all it took. That's all it took. And so, kudos and shout out to him again for going up against him. All right, they it's on. It's on, bro. They're joking finna let all these little memes finna get popping. It's on, bro. Hey, tomorrow we're gonna see though. So right now they drinking tonight. They excited. They got the little the little happy feet dance going. So we're gonna see if the thing gonna pop out tomorrow. But again, Joker's already getting paid, right? This is what you do when you buy. You still believe in the scenario, and you buy a call buy, right? These were again those call buys that obviously became dirt cheap. I kept looking at it almost every day. I ain't gonna lie, I kept looking at them call buys every day for GameStop and AMC every day. I'm like, man, I should pull a trigger on Elite. I should at least pull a trigger. I always tell myself that. And sometimes I do it on some stocks and I get paid. Some of them I don't. This was one day I was like, man, I should go ahead and pull a trigger on because I see the consolidation. It's accumulating. This guy bought only two. The $6 call buy for this Friday and the 73s. Sitting at $5 grand right now. Sitting at $5 grand right now. Nice little bag there. Look how much he made though. Look how much he made. Look how much he paid for him though. I guess that's what I should be saying. Y'all know how much he paid for these, right? He paid every bit around about what? You see the difference, right? That's the profit. That's what the value is. So you do the subtraction. That's how you do an option. You just subtract 538, right? 5385, excuse me, from 5261, and that's what he paid for those two contracts. And that's the profit he made from those contracts. That's the power options, right? That's the power options. So that's why, when you see me going in on options and getting excited and, sharing and building on it, training on it, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to obviously front run the opportunity, front run the markets, right? There's that CEO of Robinhood. That chick go crazy on Reddit. This going to be going on all for the next 3-4 days. They finna go in on Robinhood. Like I said, it's exciting to see it. So like I said, I don't keep you guys here long. Again, I do thank you guys for tuning in. We got something to look forward to tomorrow. Of course, the markets right now, for the futures markets are still, pumping a little bit here. We up about 108 points on the US 30. About 9 points on the S&P 500 here. Again, that's that continuation of what just came out of the market today. Again, a massive rebound on turn the S&P 500 today. Massive move today. Control spending like it typically does. When the bots take over, like they did yesterday after Jerome Powell finished speaking, the bots took over. And once they take over and they try to kill the USD dollar or kill the VIX, you know what's going on, right? It's very controlled. You can see it for what it is. And you definitely know there's not retail traders. It's obviously what? Machines. And so it was obvious today. I sat there and watched it myself. I was like, yeah, the machines got it now. The machines got it, right? Ain't nothing you can do to stop it. Because again, they feel like they've turned the market, right? And once they turn the market, of course, saving in case in they point major level support, of course, broke down there 380 and bounced hard. Go figure, right? On some important days that even with the Fed speaking, right? Go figure, right? But nonetheless, that's just the craziness of the market. Even with the timing aspect, it can be so, just uncanny, right? Just uncanny, right? So again, if you look at the SP 500, even from this perspective, this is what I'm talking about here. See that right there? That's what you call control buying. Those algorithms right there. Algorithms and bots took the market. See how it played that 20 moving average like a fiddle all day long, right? It played it like a fiddle all day long, just methodically, riding. Very methodical. Look at the volume. Look at the patchwork value of the volume there. It just stayed consistent pretty much throughout the entire day, and it just made one big U-shape fry pan bottom value even in the volume, breaking out, closing out up near the high of the day, close to that, and obviously leaving room for more continuation going into the next day. That is what you can. If you ever see this, best believe. I heard my brother Afurakan talking about that. That means that's algorithms that's buying the market, bots control value, market makes everybody firing on the same cylinder. All the banks are in cahoots. This is what they do. This is how they make their money. They are not spring chickens at this, right? And so control spending all the way through that at least the first 2 hours of the market, 2 hours and 30 minutes, whatever. And then after that, again, just let it kind of, trickle in around the moving average, wind like a snake, and just close out the day strong. Right. So very, very big day in the market. In that perspective, coming off what happened the previous day, as you can see, that was yesterday's closing price, 387.50. Even with the futures down a little bit, there was kind of trending, down, or it was up, but then trended down, obviously, pre-market into the trading session itself, of course, around about 10 o'clock. Then there go my little strategy, right? Y'all know my little strategy, 9:50, 10 o'clock pullback, like clockwork. There it is, right? There it is, my one little strategy I got, right? Of course, I got many, but y'all know what I mean by that, right? This is one that I just enjoy watching this thing play out in a lot of ways when it happens, right? So right around 9:50, 10 o'clock, that was your hard pivot reversal in the market alphas. You're going pulling back from pre-market into the intraday session, and then after that, they crank those they cut the machines on, right? Cut the machines on, Mortimer, right? They cut the machines on and lights out for the entire day. They end up buying me a little scalp call, a scalp spy call, into this play today. Scattered for a few little pennies here and there, right? So again, this is the market, right? This is the market. So definitely trying to keep this energy, intact. Of course, we're not that far off from the high, or in this case, the all-time high. Oh, I forgot this after hour. That's why let me do that. All right, but anyway, we're not too far from the all-time high. So again, they're trying to test that and break above it if they can. Again, what we're catapulted at this point, obviously they just go ahead and say we got a stimulus deal, a stimulus package deal, ready to go through the desk of Joe Biden. Right? If they get that before the bonds obviously began to kind of gather they bearing, right, because they got knocked out a little bit today after they were trying to run, but if they let these bonds wake up again, you're gonna be in trouble. So they better keep their foot on the pedal. They better kill that USD dollar, the DXY, the Doxy, right? And ride this gravy train best they can, because at some point you're definitely gonna have some more selective selling, right? Paring back some of those gains that they've already benefited off of, and so the market is not out of the woodwork yet. It is not, right? Don't get it twisted. It is not out of the woodwork yet, right? So just be careful, be cautious. But guess what? It really don't even matter, because y'all have GameStop. Y'all got GameStop to worry about now, right? Something to keep your attention. So get excited for that, right? So shout out to y'all, right? I was just thinking about it. That guy that probably bought those two little calls, right? A little $63 call, that's 73 whatever, right? Paid like $100 or something for those little calls for both of them. Man, I've been there, of course, before. I know what that feeling like, but man, it's like having a sugar rush, right? Remind me of the little meme right here. You find that one stock and then that thing hit pay dirt, and it'll be one of them lotto type plays. You be fired up, boy. You just gonna be like, boys, it's like a joke can't tell you nothing, but you had a sugar high mouth all I do. That's exactly how you be, boy. You hit one of them kind of pay dirt type of lotto trades like that, man. Look, Joe can't tell you nothing, right? You can't tell you nothing. But that's why I get excited, because again, just being in the position where we can take advantage of something like that, it's just awesome. Again, I've been there too. Again, I've had some crazy ones, right? Again, 20 into 1800, right? $20, right, into 1800, and again, that was time 5, of course, in that case. But when those trades happen, man, you just like, man, look at here, right? See, this is why I'm learning this stuff. This is why I'm getting better every day. This is why I'm continuously going to press myself to learn to get better too, because in a given moment, it could be, hey, it could be that kind of reality, right? So I'm excited to be a part of you guys' circles, and we're gonna keep learning, we're gonna keep earning, as we say, learn to earn, right? So we can increase our knowledge bank and also our pocketbook bank, right? That's what we're here for, right? All right, so that's it. So guys, like I said, I'm gonna get ready to shut it down here. I didn't want to be on long again, of course. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for your patience. Again, thank you for subscribing if you're new to the channel. We're back over here on Afurakan Emporium 1. All right, we still got the backup channel for a reason, right? So if they act crazy again, we just go right back over there, right? No worries for us. We'll still find a way to get it in. All right. So again, stay diligent, stay safe, stay sharp. Again, don't let your emotions cloud your reality, right? It's always a move with knowledge first, right? Move with knowledge first, right? That way you understand that this is definitely about bringing power and profit, right? Knowledge brings power, power brings the profit. I repeat, knowledge brings power, right? Power brings the profit, right? So don't, fool yourself into thinking any different, right? So we can get it. All right, what's going on, family? Alabama consciousness. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on with IGD? The great. What's going on, family? A few guys came in here. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna get a chance to probably talk about that tomorrow. If I go live tomorrow, if you guys are around, of course, definitely gonna talk about that because y'all know I've been in AGRX for quite a while myself. In several different accounts. Actually, I'm trading that thing around about 4 different accounts. All right, and my lowest average around about 50 cents in that stock. Of course, it's FDA approved for contraceptive play for women. Low dose estrogen play. Actually, it's the lowest dose estrogen contraceptive patch literally ever been invented. Right, and so it has less, issues because of that, because it's low dose estrogen, so it doesn't really mess up a woman. So, yeah, I'm not a woman, so I can't speak to that, but I'm just going off the science. All right, but again, it's a very, very, wide, broad market. That's obviously, it has its use case because we talk about what, children, right? Whatever, right? Just the ideal of that. So that's one of many plays I'm in, long-term investment. Of course, y'all know I've laid that thesis out a million times. Why I like the stock, why I like its use case, because it is in a space that has a very useful case. Matter of fact, one of its competitors, I don't know if y'all been watching it, is y'all might. Matter of fact, they dropped their video the other day. I may end on that. Let me show. This is their one of their competitors. Now, not the complete, what they call complete, monolithic competitor, but they are also in the contraceptive space, right? But it's a company called EVFM, right? The product they got is called Fexi, right? So again, this is, we're a mature audience, so we ain't got to be acting all crazy. So I'm gonna show you, they just dropped one of their YouTube promo videos recently, right? Again, y'all know, hey, this is more for the I'm not going. Well, this is for the woman that's on the go. I just say that, right? Right? Because most people might not want to take pills for hormonal reasons. Whatever, right? Again, I'm not a woman, so I can speak to that. I let the women speak to that, right? But like anything, as an investor, right, there's a use case for certain things, or for certain values or whatever. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh man, this thing tonight is just raggedy. Let me see if this thing gonna work. Can y'all hear me? Testing. Man, this thing is really acting up tonight, man. Everything crashing, I guess. Can't win tonight, boy. They ain't gonna let me win tonight. They're not gonna let me win tonight. So yeah, like I was saying, their competitor, if you will, if you want to call it that, is a company called EVFM, right? That's the ticker symbol that is, right? But let me pull up their commercial, right? Again, let me pull up their commercial, right? It's like I said, we all adults here, so again, you check it out, yourself if you want to. Interesting as it is, they're in the space, but not necessarily a pure play on the same as AGRX, because this is contraceptive, right? But it's not the patch, right? They don't have the patch, right? But they do have something, that's supposed to be preventative maintenance when it comes to that, right? So I'll end on their little commercial. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, ladies, check it out. Guys, check it out. Of course, whatever, right? Right. But as investors, this is part of our homework, right? So the product is, yet to get out there. They're going through the process now, of getting it set up so they can get it out there, for the general public. So, that's a part, again, what we get a chance to, see first in terms as investors before it hits the market. We get a chance to kind of check it out. All right. So here it is, guys. So let me go over here. And the video just really dropped, and they already got, a lot of their shareholders doing it, though. They're watching it a lot, sharing it with their friends and family. So the views are just, just went ballistic, right? They got the views up, something fierce. All right. So real quick, let me do this here, and I'll end on their little video. All right. So again, this is one of their competitors, but again, not a pure play competitor. It's just they in the contraceptive space, right? And there's a market. It's a big market for contraceptive values in itself, right? So whatever. All right, so let me see here. All right, so let's play this here. Hopefully I don't get any of that crazy behind this. So YouTube, let y'all know I do not own this video, any rights to the music on here, so don't y'all come for me. My fair use act is down in my description box. But so this is straight education, entertainment value.
Contraception comes with its compromises. Take Condom Kate. No way would she put hormones in her body. She doesn't like relying on her man, but she also doesn't like salad. The pill Pia likes being prepared, but that means she's using birth control all the time, even while exercising. And cycle tracking Tara is tied to a calendar. Looks like books for her this week. It's time to meet a revolution in birth control. Phexi. It's a hormone-free, use it only when you need it gel that puts you in control of your body, your sex life, and your pregnancy prevention. Don't use Phexi if you have problems with your urinary tract or a history of repeated UTIs. Common side effects are vaginal burning, itching, infection, discharge, UTIs, genital area discomfort, bacterial vaginosis, or pain while urinating. Phexi doesn't protect against STIs. Get past your compromises and get Phexi. Talk to your healthcare provider or visit Phexi.com for a telehealth consult.
Now, of course, I'm not a woman.
Pain while vaginosis,
right?
Bacterial discomfort,
right.
Genital area.
I'm not a woman, but I guess those side effects are just part of the normal when it comes to this kind of stuff. Ladies, y'all gonna have to chime on that. We can say that conversation for another day. But anytime they get the name of them side effects, I'm like, God, dog, you got to go through all that. Just God, dog, right? Just leave it. Just, you know what? Don't worry about it. Let's go ahead and have this baby. Let's just go ahead and have this baby, I guess. I'm gonna run there one more time.
Genital area discomfort, discharge, UTIs. Side effects are vaginal burning, itching, infection, discharge, UTIs, genital area discomfort, bacterial vaginosis, or pain while urinating. Phexi doesn't protect against STIs. Get past your compromises and get Phexi. Talk to your healthcare provider or visit Phexi.com for a telehealth consult.
I'm just saying, so hey, hey, I'll leave it at that. But that's one of the competitors. So again, the stock, again, it's EVFM. As you can see, that's the daily. This is your 5 day, this is your monthly. Of course, it made a little bounce, right? It came at 263, went up here, hit a high around about, it was like 488, somewhere around there. And it haven't been any higher than that, as you can see here. Since this news kicked off that they got this new product now. So this go back, towards the last year, it was up around about 6, right? Of course, it got hit like everybody else too. With the pandemic, then they was able to get their product launch out, and so here's where the stock is at now, right? So again, you see what's going on here. It's kind of U-shaped bottom here, and they just dropped their commercial, right? This is their first commercial for their product, right? So for this new, this contraceptive, apparatus, I'll just leave it at that, right? Y'all see what it is, all right? We're adults here, of course, but that's what it is. But it's also supposed to have something. I will say this. Now, of course, I'm still doing research on it, but it's also supposed to have a medicinal agent to it that also retards someone catching chlamydia or gonorrhea. And this was actually part of that FDA approval when they was actually trying to submit it, with those very aspects on the data sheets as well. And I think the FDA at that point was kind of, yeah, we need to see more on that or whatever. But that's what they're saying, that also, because they also got other drugs too. They also got other stuff, but it also supposed to protect the woman against, or a man or whomever, against chlamydia and gonorrhea, right? So, hey, I'm just saying, I'm the messenger. Don't y'all come from me. Do your research. That's why I pull up the stock. What's called Everfilm, Biosciences, right? So again, I mean the chart again. You see it's rounding out here, and they just not launched this commercial. They just launched that commercial, like I said. So. It's getting a little traction. They already got over 1 million views, right? So, people going to probably try the product again. Y'all heard side effects. I'm not a gynecologist, right? Consult with your OBGYN ladies, right? I do know some aspects of biologics, sciences in that regard to a degree, but I'm not going to have that conversation tonight. Right? Now, you ain't even calling me into the market, right? Calling me, so like, hey, brother, right? I'll leave that to the fan, right? I'll leave that one to the fan. All right, that's it, guys. So let me get out of here, guys. Peace, power, profit. Thank y'all for tuning in again. I honor you guys. I'm humbled for your time. I appreciate you guys. I look forward to building again. Got channel back, of course, in this case, getting after what we do best. And so we'll see what GameStop going to do tomorrow. So get excited, get some sleep, right? Don't be up binge, not sleeping all night, right? Don't take it from me because I've done it too many times. It's not necessary. If it's not necessary, right? Unless you're planning for what? A big bag, right? And sometimes it requires that, but if it ain't, get some sleep because sleep is a weapon. right? And that's I hear that a lot, especially in my household. So no big deal, right? So get some and be ready for tomorrow, wide eyed and bushy tail, and let's see what the market's going to do. Right? You got the future market that's pumping right now. Dow's up about 110 points. Futures, the SP is up by 10. The tech is up by 32. Small cap is up by 16, and the VIX is up as well. So when that, again, the markets are broken right now. Anytime the VIX is up with the market too, you know what's going on. Right? Gold is barely down about 45 cents, so nothing major there at this point. Oil down about 12 cents on the crude WTI. Brent's down about 2 cents. So nothing really going on there. Copper banging again. The bond market is kind of what? Back up again. Couldn't make this stuff up. Couldn't make this stuff up. Man, the market is, when it gets like this means how that convergence, everything trending when it don't supposed to. That's when you get most. That's when you're supposed to be very scared. That's when you're supposed to be very cautious, right? When the market does that, again, I'm gonna end on that note. The Flexi commercial, but I gotta show this one thing. Y'all can see it for yourself. But I gotta show y'all this one more thing. When the market does this right here, we see green completely down like that there, right? It's a problem. Well, what I mean, this guy right here, the VIX. See, the VIX is up too, and it's SP 500 up, and Dow's up, and Tech is up, and small cap, and the VIX up. Well, okay, yeah, that's what's one thing, brother Afurakan. Okay, you see what's going on with oil. You see where gold is at. Okay, come over here to this side right here. What do you see? This is problematic. I spoke about this many times, but I'll say it again for some of you guys maybe new. Anytime you got the 10-year sitting at this point, based upon what we're dealing with the bonds, all again, interest rate being so low as they are, you got the bonds back up near $1.40. That's a problem. I mean, we know people still dumping these bonds, right? A lot of it is the Asians, right? Chinese are dumping our bonds, meaning America's bonds, right? It's bad paper to them. They don't want, again, and they're trying to do it as a negotiating tactic to get Joe Biden to release what? Those tariffs that Trump put in place. This is strategic. And they know our market's in a weak stage right now because they can't afford that, and we don't have stimulus cut, and we're dealing with other things, obviously inflationary issues in terms of our economy, and the dollar being weak. Markets are already overinflated. There's no really true organic growth. Earnings are just coming in, mixed at best. It wasn't all this kind of earnings growth that they kept, crying it was going to get in terms of Wall Street to try to front run it. And that's basically like they always do, right? They just always buy before they get a chance to try. And the problem is that, it all kind of all falls down. Like the song Lord here, it all falls down when you don't necessarily make all the right moves to kind of backstop this stuff before it happens. And so you're playing with funded money, printed money. And so when it comes back to hunt you, this is what you're dealing with. So you got a US 10-year treasury that's sitting at 1.399. This was the highest it's been dang near. You see it. Look at this little chart that's on the screen. You see it up there near the peak point. Look where it came from. Look, okay. Let's back it up. Look at the 1-year chart. Right? Look at the 1 year. This was around the June of last year. Right? This is because they were trying to save it, the bond, all this stuff that the Feds were doing. Again, and then the V-shaped recovery, and then it starts slowly going back up. You see what's happening here? See, that's what happened when debt. That's what happened when debt starts to come come due. Exactly what happens. Y'all watching. I ain't making this up. And that's sitting way up here again. And so I'm just saying, be careful, guys. The VIX up and the SP 500 up, they supposed to be diametric opposites. The VIX and the SPYs up, they supposed to be diametric opposites. I'll leave it at that. I see you guys tomorrow. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace, power, profit. My best to y'all. Sleep well. I see y'all in the AM. Peace, power, profit, everybody. Peace.